Hi guys, welcome to another Railroads Online video. It's been a while. This is a strange feeling. We're going to look at the 1 year anniversary update patch, which is now live on the beta branch within the game. I must admit, it's been a long time since I've played this. The game has gone through a lot of community and technical drama that I won't really get into. I'm sure a lot of you know well enough about it. But the game has gone through a lot of changes for those that may not know about it. A lot of torches were passed and taken away. We'll just put it like that, as far as developers and designers and 3D modelers and things of that nature. The main dude is pretty much still in charge of this game. It's his game's pretty much always been his game. But recently, Astragon Entertainment has kind of taken the reins of this game, and they now officially publish this game. So it's no longer indie. I mean, I guess they're still kind of indie, but Astragon, they just released a construction simulator. They've got Firefighter Simulator, Police Simulator, Bus Sim, on and on and on, all kinds of different simulators. So they have got this game in their repertoire now, and so yeah, it's gone through a lot of changes. Some new stuff has come out over the last year I haven't really looked at or attempted to cover, just because a whole lot of stuff happened. Like, you know, there were updates, then things taken away, and then things added and taken away again, and it was just a giant pain in the ass. So I didn't feel like messing with it. But this fairly large update piqued my interest, so here we are. Welcome to the brightly colored forest of narrow gauge railroad land. So these are now birch trees, colorful birch trees, instead of the pine or spruce or whatever the hell they were before. So it's kind of a fall or autumn update, if you will. So we've got some nice colored trees. It looks pretty good, I must add. Now, one of the big things that have changed over the last several months is the way you lay track now. And I did a little bit. I tried a little, and some of it's still kind of a pain in the ass, and something else I've noticed as well is the level of detail or whatnot as far as the railroad ties. We'll kind of pop in and pop out, so you can see right up there, middle screen, they're gone, and then we'll get close and they pop in, just like over here as well. Boom, there they go. So that's kind of crappy, slightly irritating. Something else you might also notice is the music. This is no longer the music, as far as I know, from one of the developers that was assisting with this game, because it was his legally binding proprietary music within the game, and they split ways. So this is like some kind of generic old-timey music that you'd find on, like, you know, YouTube for ad-free stuff or something. But there's still music. It's different. Anyway, back to the track laying. So the splines are a little bit different now, so we'll just go ahead and open it up. So you've got different sections now: 3-foot rail, 1, 2, 3, and I honestly don't know what the hell that means. And then 4. Now this is still without ballast, if I am not mistaken, or embankment. And then you've got the wall with or without rails, of course, and a new bridge as well. I haven't really messed with this, but it looks pretty good. And you got different types. So you've got new fireproof red, DNR, GW, creosote, and old. Try the creosote. We'll just hook it up there and link it. So it's a little bit easier to make curves and radiuses. I had issues with that before. I mean, this was never a game to just hop in and go to town. It did take some doing and some knowledge and help and things of that nature, but it's easy to curve now. So with this, I have the circle mode unticked on the top right hand corner of the screen. So I'm hitting the 4 and the 6 key to swivel it back and forth here, and then I'll go ahead and straighten it back out. and then I'm going to lock it. So I'm going to hit 5 on the number key, and it'll lock it and straighten it. And then you've got, what is it? Let's see. Add and gradient. So that's 2 and 8. So that's, you know, up and down. See, the max is still 10%. And then down should be the same. Yeah, so it goes down into the ground. And so something else you can do, which is nice. So I'm going to unlock it again, right? So you can make some crazy sharp curves if you got like a little, you know, tiny log and railroad and you're not doing any giant trains or something like that. You could do stuff like this and just make quick, easy turns, curves, radiuses, whatever. Or I'm going to try and straighten it out here again. I'm going to go ahead and lock it again. So that's the 5 on the num key or the numpad. And then you can still hit 4 and 6 to change the radius, but it's a lot less sharp. So I'm holding it down and it's slightly moving, as you can see, and you can do it back the other way as well. It should kick over here to the right in a minute. There you go. So you see that takes a minute to actually do that. Something you can do is hit the star on your numpad, and it'll change the grid. So it goes from 1 to 10 to 100. So that is the girth, or the I don't know how to explain it. The fastness in which you can actually change the radius. So it's on 10 now, so it moves a little bit quicker, and then we'll move it to 100, or it goes to 50 as well. Forget about that. A lot faster, as you can see, and then 100 is zipping, very quick. And so you can see we'll go ahead and we'll curve it out to minus 500. And you can see it'll just slightly curve and it'll keep on going. Before this new spline update, I had no clue how to do this. This was a giant kick in the balls. I don't know how many countless hours I spent trying to get track straight in this game. With the spline update, it is a little bit easier now. I'm still having a bit of a time going on with switches, as you can see here. I've got this all laid out, but I'm having this issue where they'll overlap and then you don't have a switch, and it's a pain in the dingus. So I'm gonna have to go over that fully, but I'm not really here to go over the new spline or track, if you will. Just wanted to tell you in case you weren't following along like I over the last several months. It's been updated, so it's a little bit easier. It's a lot more ease of use, if you will. But what we're here for, the juicy bits, and what I'm here for, why I reinstalled the game, is the new rolling stock. So we'll go up here and get ready and take a look. They've also done a lot of other updates as far as, you know, performance enhancements with the splines and things of that nature. It still takes ages if you've got a huge map. I had a huge map saved, and it literally took like 10 minutes to load the thing in. I thought the game froze. So that's still a thing. Let's see. We'll go ahead and get our first. So we still got the flat car, the hopper, tanker, box car, bobber caboose. This came out around Christmas time last year, I think. So was it? It might have been January, February. I don't really remember. It's been so dang long. I can't believe it's been a year. This is the year anniversary update, if you will. And I'll link down below where you can go and find all this information and have a read for yourself, because I'm going to just vaguely cover, you know, a few things that I found interesting personally. So this is new here, the Durango and South Park and Pacific Way car, which is essentially like a crew car or a caboose, if you will. It's the same deal. Just doesn't have the cupola top. It says Class 1, build date 1888 or 1881. I can read numbers, I promise. It's still narrow gauge, 11,000 pounds. Freight type, nothing, because it's a way car. Numbers, you can put a bunch of numbers. Well, 4 anyway. Name. We'll go with Dingus. Of course, it goes right up there to the top. We'll just see how many you can do up here on the top here, because that was sometimes an issue. So it looks like quite a few. You can put a good sized name up there. And what's neat about this, which is also part of this update, is there are now different paints you can do. So before, you were kind of relegated to the same dang paint with everything. Now you can actually change them. So we'll go ahead and take a look at some of the paints for this one. So you got yellow steps. I'm not totally sure what that one does. I guess it just adds the yellow weight car bit there. That turns it red. It's more of a brick there, I guess. It's red again. It's slightly less red, more brown. Browner. Red again. I think... Is there anything else changing? I don't think there is. There we go. I like that one. That one's yellow. It's got the red painted wheels. That's cool. What is the difference here? Oh, that one actually says caboose instead of weight car. That one says weight car again. And that's it. So we'll go ahead and order that bad boy and take a look at it here. Old-timey rolling stock. Looks pretty good. Like a lot of the textures on things are still very muddy, you know, the closer you get. But, you know, as far as the type of game this is, that never really was a giant issue. I mean, yes, people, and myself included, would absolutely love if this stuff was sharp and very spicy and crispy and all that good stuff. But, you know, it's a little bit muddy. But anyway, something else I've noticed, when you climb up on the steps, you kind of start to, and then it seems like you fall through the floor here. So you climb up and then fall through the floor. Because I'll crouch and we are now under the rail car. So that's a bit funky. It's still got the pin and link deal. Just like old times a year ago. See if we can open the door here. This is very strange walking through the floor. Yeah, it's like we're crawling. Yeah, so you can't even like jump up. So it's got a couple of nice cushions. Close that door. Close. Close. Damn you. There we go. We'll just go through it. I don't think that opens. There we go. We got the lamps on there. So whatever type of train it is, you can throw the lamps up there. If it's running forwards, reverse, extra, whatever you want to do with your own little railroad. I would assume these lamps work, but I cannot get up there to mess with the damn things. So, yeah, I'm not totally sure. The winders, again, I'm not seeing any kind of hit or click boxes on the winders. This thing seems a little funky. So you do have a wood stove in here to keep nice and toasty on those cold days. Pick up wood as usual, left click, and then throw it with a right clicky. And boom, we got some fire. Very nice fire. Got your kettle up there with some beans. Or some coffee. Hot cup coffee. And the hand wheel. So yeah, there's that. So this is our weight car. Got a little smokestack up there. It's going to. It looks pretty good. That's alright. That's alright. Can you climb up on top of it? I don't think you can. It wasn't that type of car. Neat little car, though. I mean, if they eventually add coaches, you know, passenger cars for this, which would be very cool, and then maybe even passenger stations, even though that's not really what this game is about, that'd still be pretty sweet. But you could definitely throw this on the end as a goods car, mail car, guard car, you know, whatever. So... and it's nice that you can actually change the stuff around. Alright, next up, we'll take a look at ye old Montezuma. So this locomotive is not new as of this update that came out like, 48 hours ago. This came out a couple of months ago, if I'm not mistaken. So this has been in the game, but it is still new. It's new to me. It might be new to a bunch of you guys, so we'll go ahead and take a look at this thing anyway. This is obviously the DNRG 240 Montezuma. It's number 1. It was a Class 25. What, Denver Rio Grande called it. They called it a Class 25, but it was a Baldwin locomotive. Of course, 3-foot narrow gauge. And it was built in 1871, I think. So you got your stats over here on the right. 240, 33,000 pounds, wood fired, of course, 120 psi boiler pressure. 4,271 pounds force of tractive effort, and it's got a bunch of goodies as well that you can change around here. So of course we'll do that. So number, we'll go with 1 because it was number 1. Name, we'll do DNS. There we go. Tender, so you can actually spell it on the tender. So we'll do Dingus and Southern. Perfect. So you can change the smokestack, the old top hat here. Big one, spark arrestor, more spark arrestor. You can actually see the vent or grate up there on top of that one, and that's it. So 1, 2, 3, bang, bang, boom. We'll do that in headlight. So you can actually not have a headlight, or you can have a headlight. So we'll go with a headlight. Paint, so there's several paints on here. I think there's I'm assuming this is like the as delivered, because they used to do these things up, and then the railroad would get them and they would change the paint and things like that, or they were just flat out made to order, you know, like a hamburger. You go into a restaurant, you order a hamburger the way you want it. Same deal with locomotives back then. I think there's only 2 paints for this one. Yeah. So this is like the bare metal and the red wheels and the little, you know, hand leafing bits on there. And then this is just black and bare metal. That one looks pretty good. But for pop color, what the hell? We'll keep it on number 1. So this is fairly cheap as well. So it's only $2,500. And you only need to be tier 2. So we'll go ahead and order that bad boy. Cha-ching. Alright, we'll take a look at the tender. This definitely looks better than the Way car, model-wise. There's that phantom bell that always ding-a-ling-a-lings every time you load something in. Got some weird aliasing or something going on with the wheels and track I just noticed here. Flashing, that is strange. I'm assuming it's something to do with the reflection of the paint for this particular paint. Springs in there look pretty good. Got the brake shoes. Very nice. And day is on. Let's make sure our brake is on. Yes, it is. Where's the water? There it is. She's full. We'll go ahead and open the firebox door on that and chuck some wood in there. See if we can. There we go. We'll throw some more in there anyway, even though I'm sure some of you were like, you only need 5 pieces. Well, we got 10 now, so redundancy. I don't think these windows open as well. I don't believe the doors open either. That kind of stinks. That's one of the things that's always kind of irritated me about this game, and when you're in these locomotives, is you can't see out of them. Like, you're like Andre the Giant in here. It just doesn't look right, so we'll let that fire up some. Of course, you can hit the F key, and it'll do like an exterior view. This was very helpful when they added this early last year, I believe. And, God, I can't believe I'm saying this, 2021. So, yeah. It's a nice looking locomotive, of course. It's got that old-timey look to it. I like these painted bits on the sand dome there and everything. That looks nice. Got our spark and fire arrestor. That's nicely done. There's some weird stuff going on with this paint or this model. It's flickering like crazy. Got the cow catch-all in there. It's a very interesting wheel arrangement. The white wheel arrangement. 240. It's strange. It always looks weird to me when locomotives are just hanging like that and there's nothing back there. Alright, we'll get that in, and then let's see, is there supposed to be a link in there? So I believe what we got to do is leave this pin out on this one. Some of these are a giant pain in the ass to hook the tender up to, but we'll give it a go here. Go ahead and throw that backwards. Brakes are applied. You can actually hear the air brake running there. give her a little juice. Wait, I did turn that off, right? Yeah. Might not have enough juice yet. Yeah, boiler pressure is slowly climbing. Water temp's climbing as well. Fire temp's going up. We're getting there. There she goes. We only need a little bit of juice anyway to try and get this thing hooked up here. Oh, God. So I don't know if that's going to work. This stuff is always a pain in the dingus. Get her back forwards here. Give her a little bit of juice. Come on, meow. Is it on now? Is it on now? Alright, let's get rid of that hand wheel. Come on, meow. That is not. That is not on. Okay, so see, it's a giant pain in the arse to do this. Okay. I'm pretty sure you leave the pin in, and then that pin would go over that, and then you throw a link in there. So it's got to be like the perfect area, and it's hard to tell with each locomotive. So we'll get there. You know, it just may take about 7 hours, but we'll get there. A little bit of juice. Are we derailed? What's going on here? What's going on here? There we go. Yeah, probably should have put that handbrake on. This is the dingus and Southern Railway. Things like this happen. Alright, let's try it again. What the hell? Alright. Now, you can kind of see the hoses are connected down here, but I'm going to go forward just a little bit. A tiny, tiny bit. Now, I didn't hear the clink. That's typically how you know you're linked up, is when you hear that chink noise. Doesn't really sound like that, but that was my best impression. Alright, we'll give her a little more. Oh. Nope. Alright, well, screw that tender, because we're going to take this son of a gun down the track here. So, get the light on, you click it, left click it, and drag down, that lights it. And then up, click it, and up, and it blows it out. So we're going to get it on here. Get it on. I don't know if you can put lamps on this one. I'm not seeing the little hit boxes. This is a very nice place to stand, though, if you're crewed up with a couple of peeps on a server doing work. Getting it done. Yeah, we're going to run out of wood, but that's all right. This is just mostly a showcase. Look at this guy. He is massive. He's like 8 feet tall. All right, let's try that whistle out. Weak sauce. It's not the best sounding whistle in the game that I recall. Man, that bare metal's doing some weird shite there. Does this have a Jenny or compressor? Let's get the compressor up. It should have a compressor. I mean, we're not hooked up to the tender, though, so that may be a problem. But that's all right. We're just giving her a test run here. Got a little balloon loop here just because I suck so far at figuring out switch points. Even though I spent like 3 hours building this yard over here. which I am not pleased with. So it seems pretty good, I reckon. It's not extremely high powered. It's a nice looking model. I don't think it looks as good as the original stuff, like the Mogul, the OG Mogul. You can see the little bits down in there, the connecting rods and everything moving, which is nice. Try and move the camera in here. There we go. Yeah, it ain't too shabby, though. Are we lined? Yes, sir. All right, let's go. Get it on. I have no clue how fast we're going because these things didn't have speedos, but I take a stab at like 20, 25. The sounds don't seem all that great either, if I'm honest. So yeah, that's the Montezuma. It's not terribly new. Let's get rid of this dang thing here. We don't need it. Goodbye. Your services are no longer needed. Thank you. Long live the Dingus and Southern. Okay. Let's get another one here. Alrighty. Here we go. The DNRGW Class 48. So this one is slightly interesting. I don't know a whole hell of a lot about these. I've never seen a whole hell of a lot about these on the internet, the television, word of mouth, anything. But it's a saddle engine. It's a tank engine. Or tank saddle tank. 060. It was a switcher, essentially. Low speed, high start and tractive effort, yard goat, whatever you want to call it. Now, what's funny is in their little article on Steam, which, you know, I found out about this stuff since their Discord is pretty much dead now. I believe it says Class 45, and it should be a Class 48. Now, again, this classing system is what DNRGW did. These weren't Class 48s or Class nothings from Baldwin. So I'm fairly sure this is a Baldwin locomotive. They called it a 622D. And the way these worked with their naming system was as such. So say the 6 in the 622D was the number of wheels. So there's 6 wheels, 6 driving wheels. Got it. Check, check. The second part, I don't totally understand, if I'm honest. Not super great at math, but 22. So that's the middle number. It apparently represents the cylinder size. Although the cylinder size is about 12, 13, 14 inches. Times 2 divided by 1.5 squared. It's something like that. So yeah, that's what that means. And then and the D is what that meant was how many pairs of drive wheels. So there's 3 pairs of drive wheels. So that's why it had the D. Now, as far as I know as well, the DNRGW didn't actually roster any that I could find anyway. And if you found anything on this, please let me know. Please share it in the comments below. I'd love to see some of this stuff on this thing. But I don't think they actually had any of these that were narrow gauge. I think they were all standard gauge. I may be, and probably am, totally wrong. But I couldn't find much about these. But they had quite a few of them in the early 1900s as well. And what's funny is this one says build date 1877. Now, I thought this was built for DNRGW, but, you know, maybe not. Maybe they got it after the fact, but whatever. We're not here about that. So it's actually the Class 48. It says Class 45 in Steam. I'm just super confused about this locomotive as a whole within the game and IRL. So, all right, Baldwin 622 diesel, built 1877, 060, 3-foot gauge, 33,000 pounds. That was a chunky boy. Fuel type wood, of course. Boiler pressure 120 psi. Tractive effort 4,158. That's almost twice what the Montezuma had in this chungus boyus in front of us. So yeah, thick. Mucho thick. Alright. Number. We'll do W. Alright, I just hit some keys on the keyboard. Sue me. Okay, name. We'll go with, let's see if we can actually type it out here. Yes, Dingus and Southern is on board. Tender, I don't know if anything actually shows up back there, but we'll name it Lil Dingus. Alright, so you've got a couple of smokestacks. You got the top hat, spark arresters, or Congdons, that's what they're called. They arrested sparks and embers and all that good stuff. We'll go with that one. I like that one. Headlight, 1. Paint, 1. Base price, $3,500. So still not that expensive. Like when you started the game out, when this game first released, these were unobtainium as far as getting a lot of these locomotives. I mean, it took me ages to buy my first locomotive. So it's nice that it's a little bit cheaper. It's tier 3, so you are going to need to level up a bit. I mean, you go around chopping some damn trees down, you're going to level up to like tier 78 in half a day chopping trees down. So go get it. All right, let's order this thing. All right, here she is. All right, so it puts the number on the back. There's not actually a tender. It's basically like a porter. This is a good looking model. I like the way this son of a bitch looks. This thing looks pretty nice. That doesn't look very cool. So be careful with your number. I would recommend 1 or 2 digits of numerical values and not letters. So yeah, this thing looks pretty good though. I like the color. Let's see, we got our Baldwin stamp on here. Dang it. Alright, we'll try that. The Baldwin Locomotive Works, Philadelphia, USA, 1875. Number 3712, Burnham Perry Williams & Co. The tank looks pretty good. That couldn't have been that easy to model. That freaky kind of curve on the saddle there. That looks pretty nice though. I like the lettering on the side, the stenciling, the shadowing. Oh, this looks pretty good as well. Let's go ahead and get some fire started in here before we try and get in this thing and get it going, just so she's ready. Boom, 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 boom. We'll throw some more in there for shites and giggles. There we go. So, okay, these doors open. Okay. There we go. We got our light. That's on. Go turn that on. There we go. Yeah, this thing looks pretty good, man. So see, I'm not sure, because I didn't really keep up with the drama of Railroads Online. I kind of just left the Discord because it was just generally a lot of dumbassery going on. So I'm not really sure who modeled this. If it was one of the old modelers that left, I don't know how all that worked, honestly. But I feel like this one definitely looks a little better. It's got the stressing in the metal here, which looks nice. That's a nice feature. See if the windows open up here. The cab is weird, though, so you can't really get in it, per se. I mean, I guess you can. You can actually see out of this one fairly well, but back here, no. I don't believe you can open the windows or the doors on the front. That sucks. Got a little lamp in here. Very nice. God, I wonder how many times these guys burn their arms, feet, legs, faces, butt cheeks on this thing, because you are right up on it, man. But yeah, it's a good looking loco. Connecting rods all look very nice. We're going to see this thing in action here in just a minute. 4,000 pounds. That's pretty big. Back in the day, a little thing like this. Cylinders up here. This thing looks pretty good. I do like the way this model looks. It's very nice. We got the light on. Can you put stuff up here? I don't believe so. Let's see if there's anything I missed. She sounds like she's ready to roll. Alright, reverser forwards. I don't know if it has a generator or compressor. We'll try and turn them on. Negative. Open the cocks of the cylinders. The steam effect in this game was always very nice looking. That's some good looking steam. Like, as far as train simulator realm, that's some of the best damn looking steam effect in the world. Alright, let's get that brake off. There we go. Try that whistle. Look at them little wheels. So cute. This thing can move. Jeez Louise. I got the reg open 14%. I thought this was one of those low speed locos, so we'll open her up. So it is like a porter, essentially. I think it is considered a porter, right? Someone, again, please correct me if I'm totally wrong. But it doesn't have the pilot wheels that kind of lead the locomotive, so it bangs around on the tracks a little bit more sketchy than the average locomotive within the game. It does have a pilot set. Might need to get rid of some of them trees. Try that bell. Of course, it should be animated, yep. And a little string is as well, even though it kind of dances around. This is a cool-ass little locomotive right here. I like this thing. The rods underneath, that's some very nice motion. Alright, we had better stop. Skeer. Alrighty, so that's the 060. I think it's an 060T. Oh, you can see the fire down there as well on the side. Nice little touch. You see it up here? I don't think so. Alright, good deal. Let's go ahead and get the wrecking ball after this thing. Goodbye. Thank you. Come again. Okay, let's get rid of that. Next up, what do we have? I think we're going to look at 4 locomotives. We did the Zoomer. The Glenbrook. Aye. The Glenbrook. Alright, so this is new. This is part of the update that just came out. If I'm not totally mistaken, I'm fairly sure it is. Okay, let's open this thing up here. Let's see. Weight 37,840 pounds. Wood fired 120 psi. Tractive effort 5,620. So she's pretty thick. Number, we'll give it 1. Name, let's see what we can get away with on here. No. We'll just have to go with Dingus. Tender? We can probably put, oh, I know what we'll do. We'll do Big Dingus. There we go. It's the big locomotive, so. Smokestack. Oh, wow. You got 5 options. Hell yeah. Damn, look at that thing. Jesus Christ. Thing's bigger than the damn locomotive itself. We'll go with that one. I like that one. Got different headlights as well. Get that angled one there. And this one has got quite a few paints, if I'm not mistaken. So they are very minimal, the differences. You really got to look close and kind of go back and forth. Like with this one, this is apparently 2 paints. And I see nothing changing. It's 3. So it's more of a blood color. Or a wine color. 4. It looks like 4 is like a mix of both 1 and 3. Oh, there's some stuff going on with the tender. The tender outline is changing color around Big Dingus. Now, I like this one. This one's got the old wood cab back here. So that's pretty cool. Number 6. And that's it. So we'll keep it on number 6. This is still fairly cheap, guys. Let's see. We'll go back and look at the prices of the other locomotives in a minute. They may have even dropped the prices. I'm not totally sure, but $3,100. Like, man, if stuff would have been this obtainable back in the day, I probably would have played it a little bit more. But again, it's tier 2 as well. So let's order this bad mammer jammer. There she goes, and just for no, we'll go and look at, so see, here we go. The Porter, this son of a bitch is $2,900, man. Look at that. Come on now. That one's $3,200. So they have most definitely made the new locomotives more obtainable. This one's $35. We just looked at that one. Montezuma is $25. Eureka, this is an older one here. This one's $29. Glenbrook, new one. Climax, $56. This was like the promised land to me. These Climax and the Heisler, and then the Heisler was $56, and then something else that we're not going to look at right now. So, all right, the Glenbrook. This thing's got some cool history to it here. There were actually 2 of these. So this one's supposed to be the Glenbrook because they were named back then, you know, like ships, ocean liners, things of that nature. There was actually 2. There was the Glenbrook and the Tahoe. It was obviously a 260 mogul type, narrow gauge, built by Baldwin in about the 1870s, I think. And 2 were produced. So they were used by Carson and Tahoe Lumber Company in the 1870s. Lake Tahoe Railway and Transportation Co. in the 1890s, and almost the turn of the century, and Nevada County Narrow Gauge Railroad in 1937. They weighed about 26 short tons, 2 cylinders, obviously wood-fired. And they were essentially built and used to haul lumber and cordwood and just all things felled tree from the east shore of Lake Tahoe to Spooner Summit. And then from there, they dumped them all on a flume, which took them down to Carson City, I think. And then from Carson City, the Virginia and Truckee took the wood onto flat car and then, you know, took them to wherever the hell they went. So that's what was going on with these. But this is definitely a nice looking locomotive, and it's got some pretty good history as well. And there's a lot that you can find online about this one, unlike the 060, sadly. So again, the tender problem. I wish these would load together, because oh my god, such a pain in the arse getting these things together. We'll try it anyway. Alright, we got the brake on. Let's go ahead and get some fire going. There we go. Boop, 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 boop. Didn't work. Yeah, you gotta really watch where you're throwing this. Boop, 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 boop. There we go. Alright, we got some wood in our tender. Looks very nice. I would like the wood to actually start looking like wood if that's possible with this game, because it's always kind of had that plasticky look. But the tender looks good. The texturing on that for the type of game this is The texturing on that tender looks pretty damn good. Weathering on there, handprints, just general crap, things of that nature. Locomotive, let's get this lamp on. Looks like it's already on. There we go. Can you put other lamps on this one? I don't believe so. Got a very cool looking pilot or cow catcher on there. The thing is very like steampunk looking. Yeah, this plate by the cylinder looks a little muddy. Could definitely be better. I'm still getting some weird stuff going on here. I don't know what that flicker is. A lot of the connecting rods and stuff back in here definitely don't look as good as some of the older stuff, the older locomotives in the game. Shoot and Curting Co., Philadelphia. But it looks, you know, it looks okay. I do like the wooden cab. That's very nice. This massive ass stack, man. Good lord. Yeah, it's an alright looking locomotive though. Alright, let's see if we can back up on this damn tender. Alright. So there's that pin. I don't think... Yeah, so I think that pin... I don't even think we need that link, if I'm honest. Yeah, we don't. So I'm going to back up. That might have been the issue with the other loco, the Monty. I don't think any of these other handles work down here. Cylinder cocks, what's that, the sand? Alright, we'll back it up a little bit. Hello? Alright, we're still getting up to temp. Ah, this one does have the compressor, so that's turned on now. Okay. Oh God, no sir. No sir. Alright. A little bit much. Alright. Pull forward a hair. Alright, there we go. We got steam coming out of the dome. The safety is pissing. That means she's ready to go. Let's see. Can we actually throw this pin in here? Oh, there was that sweet, sweet sound of linkedness. The interior on this one looks a little bit better than the other two locomotives. A little less muddy. Looks a little less kind of thrown together last second, I guess. It's pretty hard to see that gauge right there. I don't believe you can... Oh, there we go. You can open these windows. Very nice. So it opens everything. I can dig that. Good deal. Alright, let's get out of Dodge here. How about we get that handbrake off? There we go. That might help. Nice. Check that whistle out. I kind of like the way this thing looks, man. The black and gold and that wooden cab. Visually, Big Dingus is looking good. Alright, let's open her up. See how she takes the coives. See, she's got the pilot wheels, hence the name Pilot, to guide the locomotive around the the tracks and the radius. So it's a little bit better than like the 060, for example. This is fairly sharp. I try to keep it as unsharp as possible. What is going on with this color with the rails and the wheels? Could be driver based. I'm on AMD. Every game seems to hate AMD hardware. Alright, here we go. She got some boogie, man. She got some boogie. Alright. That's old Big Dingus. The Glenbrook. Or Tahoe. Or whatever you want to name it. That's just what it was named. Goodbye. Alright. And last but certainly not least. So we got the Climax. The Heisler. And now the Shay. Now, it is a Class A Shay. And I know a lot of peeps may be more in love with Class C's, and that's totally fine. But this is pretty much where it all started. Thank you, Bell. Okay, so Lima, the patent was designed and owned by Mr. Shay himself, but he essentially had Baldwin build these, or Lima, if you will. So they all built these differently to order as well. Like hardly any two of these were the same. These things are super unique, and it's amazing that they're still around today. Not only that, but they were sent all over the world. But anyway, it says here, obviously Class A, build date 1895, 0440. So this is a two truck. That's what Class A meant. Two piston, two truck. I think Class B was three piston, two truck, and then Class C was three piston, three truck. I think that's how it worked. But anyway, obviously narrow gauge, 47,960 pound weight, wood fired, 120 psi. I don't know if those boiler pressures are right. They all say 120 psi. Tractive effort, 15,061 pounds force. This little son of a bitch right here, 15,061 pounds force of tractive effort. Now, they could only go between about 7 and 17 mile an hour, realistically, but they were meant for, just crazy little crappy industrial and logging railroads, with poor track, and they just got it done. They weren't built for speed. But anyway, let's go ahead and check out what we can do here with this thing. We'll name her number 1 as far as the number. Name. We already did Little Dingus. We'll try Medium Dingus. It works. Okay. The tender. It's got the built-on tender deal. The back truck is actually under the tender. And I think, is this the one where the rear truck doesn't actually articulate? Only the front one does, or something like that with one of these Class A's or B's. I can't remember exactly. We'll just type in some stuff. There we go. Well, let's delete some of that just so it doesn't, come off the side of the thing like a giant billboard. Smokestacks. So you do have a couple of stacks, which is nice. I like the straight, bat stacks or the top hat stacks personally. We'll try that one though. What the hell? I mean, for visibility, this one right here all day long. For not starting forest fires, you probably want to go with one of these. Headlight. Got quite a few options there as well. We'll go with that Litlin. And then paint. So there's 3. Let's see. So this one's got the white trim and the red boards here near the pilots. This is just blacked out Stealth Bomber. And this one gets rid of the paint stripes back there on the tender. So we'll stick with the stripey boys. And this one is still fairly expensive. So it's $5,400 and it's tier 3. So it's still very obtainable. Let's go ahead and throw her down here. Cha-ching. Alright. Now, I think almost 700 Class A's were built. And like I said, they were all pretty much different. And just because it was a Class A didn't mean like Class A, that's it. It's just one thing. There were different Class A's. There was like Class A .1, Class A Bravo. I can't remember the exact name, but there were different Class A's as well. So I don't know exactly which one this is. I just know it's a Class A just because it's, you know, 2 piston, 2 truck. But this is cool as hell. I love this stuff, as I'm sure a lot of you do with the old gear-driven locos. It looks pretty good. Again, I wish the wood looked better. It just looks very, you know, plasticky. The paint could definitely be better. It's not lined up here across the tender. It is on the back and the front. But, you know, again, it's not the end of the world. It's not really what this game is about. So I don't think things like that are, you know, make it literally unplayable. The trucks look pretty good, though. You know, aside from that weird-ass kind of aliasing thing I got going on. Those look pretty dang good. Now, let's go ahead and fire it up. Get her ready. Bye, 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 bye. Bye, 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 bye. There we go. These things are so small. The power this little son of a biscuit could put out is just crazy. Oh, and the tank. That's what's neat about these as well, as the tank was offset to deal with the pistons up here, if I'm not mistaken. Get that lamp on. I don't think you can put any lamps on here, as traditionally I don't think any of them would have been on here. There's your gears. So it's geared on the right side, or engineer side. It looks pretty good, man. I can't wait to see this thing in action. Because like the Heisler and the Climax, it's just cool as hell watching those things work. Now, did both of these trucks articulate? I know one of them didn't. I thought this was the one that didn't. But, oh my god, these things are crazy, man. It's pretty good looking. There's nothing on the stamp there, sadly. It's just blank. Boo. That's crazy how that goes right through to the floor. There's not a whole hell of a lot of clearance down here. That's neat as hell. Let's get up in her. There's our water. Looks like we got some fabric on the seats, and that's nice. Something different, I guess. Go ahead and throw our fards. See what all I can mess with here. It's not working yet because we ain't got no juice. Ah, you can open the roof. Roof hatch. Very nice. Funky little locomotive. It literally looks like one of those, you know, rideable hobby. Well, I don't want to call it hobby, but one of the miniature locomotives, you know, that are still extremely expensive. But it was like a real working thing that pulled extremely heavy loads. It's crazy. Thing is insane. I'd love to have some sort of B and C. That would be very awesome if a B and C showed up in the game as well. Just waiting on that safety. They got the whistle pretty right. I've seen a couple of these things, you know, on YouTube, obviously. I've never seen one in real life, sadly. But the whistle sounds pretty legit. The abrupt cutoff's kind of weird, but those other two sounded extremely generic. That one sounds pretty nice, so I like that right there. Wait, are we good to go? This thing has a safety, yeah? See, boiler pressure 140. Oh, yeah. Why is... I guess it just hadn't built up yet. Let's try and take off here. There it goes. There she goes. Give her a little bit of juice. Cocks, of course, are on one side. I think they are. What the hell is that thing? Man, that whistle, so the whistle sound almost sounds legit, like they used a real sound file and not, you know, Audacity like some of the other ones. But that son of a gun is loud. So watch your ears. If your ears are now bleeding from this video, my deepest apologies. Look at that, man. That's so damn cool. Good night. Medium dingus is getting it. Woo. We'll get around this curve here and spank it. I mean, modeling wise, this thing does look very good. These things can't be terribly easy to model. They're just so intricate. These things, the way they were built, you know, just look like somebody, you know, took a bunch of scrap from an old warehouse and, like, just threw it all together and made a locomotive. That was gear-driven locos to me. Funky. Alright, she's straightened out. Back that wheel spin off. So the sound, the chuff of this little bastard sounds pretty good too. I think they got real sounds for this thing. Can even hear some little bits in there that need, you know, need some grease. Yeah, so so the thing with the I'm a child, what can I say? I get a kick out of that. So the thing with the Climax and the Eisler as well is you typically weren't very good above about 50% on the regulator as far as throttle. I think. I don't know if they ever fixed that, but you really don't need more than like 10% to begin with. This thing could spin the earth, you know, if it was just like fastened to the ground. This thing could probably spin the earth. But yeah, we got us a Shay, Class A Shay. It's a Class A, but that's okay because it's still a Shay. But yeah, that's it, guys. Just wanted to do a quick look at the 1-year anniversary, as they're calling it. I probably missed quite a few other things. Just kind of wanted to go over some of the stuff that I thought was, you know, somewhat more interesting than some other stuff. But it's been a long time, so those of you that were watching the series, sorry they didn't keep on going. It just, you know, it just didn't pan out. We'll see what happens going forward. But, you know, this has definitely piqued my interest as of late. Hence, why we're here now taking a look at it. But I do appreciate your time. Thanks for being here, guys. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.